Hey guys, I know it's been a while since I've been on camera. Reason being, I really don't like being on camera that much. But there is a lot to talk about today because we have a lot of new info that just came out recently about the sequel to Godzilla vs. Kong, supposedly called Godzilla and Kong Origins. I'm sure most of you have heard by now that there is this apparent leak of information that will confirm the next villain in the next movie. This information originally was put out by Warstu on YouTube, which I'll link you to his video in the description, because if you want to take his word for it and not mine, you can. But we're also going to go over this article that came out that he is referencing. So we're going to start with that, and we're going to go over what this could mean and who else the villain in the Monsterverse could possibly be for the next upcoming film. All right, so let's go through this article a little bit. Alleged plot leak of upcoming Monsterverse sequel to Godzilla vs. Kong claims to reveal film's villain. We're going to skip this first part. All right. With the release of the follow-up title Godzilla and Kong that possibly has the addendum Origins 2 years out, we aren't supposed to know too much about the plot. After all, everybody involved is muzzled by non-disclosure agreements. However, those are not antidotes to information getting out there. Not with the anonymity of the internet and its furthest corners. So obviously there's people working on the film. We've seen this before. There's been leaks of the past two movies. We had basically an entire plot leak of Godzilla King of the Monsters that was also released by Methylo Kaiju, who found the information from someone else on, I can't remember if it was either 4chan or something else like that, but it all ended up being very, very accurate to the actual movie. We heard early spoilers about Mechagodzilla, and even some people were saying that Mechagodzilla didn't have a huge role, and that could have been played off or not, but you never know. Some people try to keep it tight-lipped, other people spill information. So, plot details discovered by YouTuber Warstu could give away keys and outcomes of the film's story. Many can't wait to hear. According to an early logline, this includes the monstrous villain that is hidden deep within the Hollow Earth for thousands of years. Finally emerging after all this time, it forces Kong and Godzilla to team up again and defeat it. So obviously in this movie, we're going to be getting a Godzilla and Kong team up. I don't think they'll fight really at all. I think they basically settled the differences in the last movie. So if anything, we're just going to get mainly two different storylines of each, and they're going to be teaming up at the end. Who knows how much interaction they'll have. But I'm actually hoping that this doesn't go through the same era as the last movie, where it's mainly just a Kong story, and then Godzilla is kind of a side character, just there messing everything up in the background. I really want this movie to focus a lot more on Godzilla. I know we had already 2 movies of Godzilla, but we've also had 2 movies of Kong now. So they basically each have equal time. Kong has, I think, appeared on the screen technically more than Godzilla. So I think hopefully we'll just focus, if not equally on both, more on Godzilla in this movie. All right. We're going to skip through a little of this. But what is this creature? Each kaiju could be so powerful. What kaiju could be so powerful to require the combined forces of God and King to save the Earth from it? Warstu's intel says the identity of the menace is Space Godzilla. Kind of. Similar to what we learned from extended Monsterverse lore. The version of Space G in Legendary Shared Universe will be radically different from his Toho counterpart. If the information is accurate, though, we won't be too far off the mark. In fact, the origin of Space Godzilla and his first appearance during the Heisei era is still disputed. Back then, Space Godzilla was conceptualized as a spawn of Biollante, a GMO freak of nature made with Godzilla cells that wound up in space. One remix and a black hole later, out popped the former monstrosity. So that's basically just laying out both of the origins of Space Godzilla. Space Godzilla's Monsterverse counterpart will allegedly retain attributes of his mama Biollante. Warster says Space G will use plant matter to build his body and evolve. Now, when I read this first, I'm not sure why people keep saying that the villain is going to be Space Godzilla, because this right here tells me this isn't Space Godzilla. This is Biollante. Come on, guys. Plant matter to build his body. Well, that sounds like Biollante to me. That doesn't sound anything like Space Godzilla. So why people are saying that this is mainly Space Godzilla, I have no idea. Two of his forms will best Kong, as well as absorb the King's axe and Godzilla in battle before they face the final form together. Now, I don't know what it means that, unless this is just a typo or something, well, best Kong as well absorbs the King's axe and Godzilla in battle. So is Godzilla going to get absorbed? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we've ever seen this before, besides if he's fought, when he's fought Orga. Orga tried to absorb him and become a Godzilla clone. So if this is a callback to something like that, then we'll have to see. At least a little bit like he was, the leak adds Space G will be embodied in a crystal that's centered in the abdomen of a Godzilla suit held together by plants, similar to TMNT enemy Krang. So basically the brain operating a mechanical body. Okay, so now from when it says crystal, I see where people are kind of coming from when they're talking about Space Godzilla. But still, this hints at attributes of both, but still the plant matter making up the entire body I wouldn't call this Space Godzilla. I would more just call it a version of Biollante without maybe any human interference, because that's how Biollante was originally created. So the rest of the article basically describes some Space Godzilla. Space Godzilla is known for its crystalline protrusions, which are accounted for in the report with a corollary. His origins will be rooted in the floating stones found in the hollow earth, or self-same crystals, which are the source of the mysterious energy that gives them their glow. Whatever it is, its power begets his genesis and is also responsible for creating the Titans. So we obviously knew that the hollow earth was the birthplace of the Titans, and I guess it's just confirming, if this is real, that the floating stones and kind of the blue energy that we saw in the hollow earth is what makes the Titans and makes them so unique compared to other animals. This information will excite kaiju fans, but it should be considered a rumor strictly and taken with a pinch of salt until further notice. Warstu found it all on 4chan. Spoiler alert, guys, I have never been on 4chan, so I can't really speak on it. I'm not sure if the other Godzilla leaks in the past have come from 4chan. I really can't remember if they came from 4chan or Reddit, but all I know is we have had very credible leaks in the past. So if this is a true leak, then I would lean more towards all of this being accurate. So people writing this off like it's stupid or take it with a grain of sand or something like that, just based on history of these leaks, I would say that this is likely going to be very close to what we'll be getting. Because if you remember, we had not the entire plot of Godzilla 2014, but we already knew the airport fight was happening. It didn't go exactly to that leak, because in the original leak of 2014, Godzilla actually kind of beat the hell out of the first Muto at the airport. And as we know, that didn't happen. We got a cutaway, which I'm still mad about all these years later, but that's another topic for another day. And then I believe the whole plots of King of the Monsters came out as well, which all wound up to be accurate. And then as well as the Mechagodzilla leaks for Godzilla versus Kong. So based on just track record, I haven't seen much of the internet's leaks being too far off from what actually happens in the films. So I'd lean more towards this is real, but don't take my word for it. You can think whatever you want. So now that we finished the article, we have a few more things to talk about, and they pertain to pictures we've had in the past that have not been covered very well. So we're going to go over it. So the first image I will bring up is this image that most of us remember from the Godzilla vs. Kong art book. And basically what this book is showing is that there are two tribes, each fighting on the side of Kongs and Godzillas. There's two Godzillas, four Kongs over here. And I'm not sure if this is just a continuation of the same carving, or if this is a separate battle going on over here, but let's just focus on this part for now. So 4 Kongs, two Godzillas, which probably means that Godzilla is doubly as strong as Kong. Who knows? All banding together, fighting what looks like a Godzilla with wings, breathing his atomic breath down on the Kongs, and most noticeably, he's blue. So every part of this picture would indicate that this is most likely Space Godzilla or a Monsterverse version of Space Godzilla. He's blue. He has wings, which the original concept art for Space Godzilla, he did have wings, and he did go by a different name. I'll put some images up on the screen, but he was originally called Astral Godzilla. He did have wings. I'm not sure what color he was in the concept art, but that much is known. Now, when this picture came out, there was some videos done on it. There was stuff buzzing around the internet on it. But for the most part, what I heard from people is that, oh, this is nothing. This is just concept art. Who knows what this really is? It could just be, absolutely nothing and just a simple drawing. Guys, I don't think they would go design something as unique like this only to leave it out of the entire Monsterverse, where they continue to get very creative and very lore based. I seriously think whatever this is going to be the big bad of the Monsterverse, whether it's next movie or the following movie. It doesn't sound like this is going to be the enemy of the next movie, just because how I described it said that Biollante / Space Godzilla is a crystal with plant matter around him, and that's not at all what I see here. I see no plant matter, nothing that would indicate a crystal. This just indicates more like space to me. So next, after that image, we're going to go to the lore behind the image. And I got to actually give a lot of credit to Methlo Kaiju for this one, because he did research into the book, the Godzilla vs. Kong novelization, and he found that this monster is actually referenced in the book. So I did a little digging online. This was posted on September 17th, 2021. Keep in mind, this is from the book. I did not read the book, so I had to do a little digging myself and read on this. According to a tale told by the last member of the Iwi tribe, Jia, during the Great Titan War between the Kong and Godzilla alpha species, there was a Titanis Gojira specimen, supposedly ate a star and grew wings, became corrupt, and it took both Titanis Kong and Titanis Gojira species to take it down. From what we just read in the past article, it's going to take both of the Titans to defeat whatever monster is in this next movie. So whether this is the monster or this is going to be a future monster, we already have that similarity. By the way, I'm banking on this probably is not the next villain of the next movie, but we're just going to see. Apparently, through translated sign language, courtesy of Dr. Eileen Andrews, the name of this specific Titanis Gojira individual was Zozar Halua. This Godzilla, in an attempt to defeat the Kong species, absorbed tremendous amount of hollow earth energy and grew wings, becoming corrupt in the process. Again, in the article we just read, they detail that whatever this monster is, it will absorb Kong's axe. So if it's not this monster directly, then it might be a monster that's related, unless this is just a crystal being whose form in the next movie will just be plant matter, and then this is the form we're going to get eventually. Again, disclaimer, I have no inside information on this stuff. I'm just purely speculating on everything, because there is a lot of information out of this article and this picture, and then the next picture I'm going to show you guys. So this is just all purely speculation. This is my theory. You can do what you want with it, or think of what you want with it. Okay, so this is the last picture we're going to touch on. Now, if anyone remembers this picture, it was kind of not talked about that much, but I will post a link to the Twitter thread that actually posted this picture. It was from the Operation Monarch event in Call of Duty Warzone. Apparently, there was a cave, and if you went in the cave, there was a bunch of cave paintings. One showed Rodan, another one showed Muto, I believe another one showed Mothra in the same one. as the Muto, and there was this picture of a Godzilla fighting whatever this new monster appears to be, and we have no idea who this monster is. So that's what we're about to speculate. Now, if we get a better image of this monster, as you can see here, there's a close-up one, fairly detailed. There are a lot of resemblances here that I think are way too significant to be ignored. So let me pull up another image real quick. So if you guys want my actual theory, I think this image right here, this monster we're seeing, is Space Godzilla. If I'm wrong, then there are just too many similarities that are really throwing me off here. So let's go through the first one. As you can see, here's a picture I put up on the side of Space Godzilla. What does Space Godzilla have? He has the crown on his head. He has the spikes that look similar but are different from Godzilla in that they're crystalline. And he has a spiked tail with unique crystalline structures on the end of it in a weird shaped pattern. So let's go back to this monster real quick. I'll put them side by side. On this monster, you see a crown on the back of his head, exactly like Space Godzilla here. You see spikes on his back that are similar to Godzilla's. These are all similar to Godzilla's. These look crystalline. These look crystalline. Then you have a tail that has this very unique pattern on it, exactly like Space Godzilla's. To me, this is Space Godzilla. I can't confirm this is Space Godzilla, but there are just too many similarities I see here with him to not say that there's something here. And that's the theory I'm just going with. This is mine. Again, I have no insider information, no leak information, anything like that. But I believe the monster we saw in the Monarch event for Call of Duty is Space Godzilla. Just when you put them next to each other, there's too many resemblances. The tail, the spikes, the crystals, and the crown. Now, a lot of people thought that this was Rock Butyl. A lot of people thought this was Varan. I think this is Space Godzilla. And I have nothing to say further than that, other than there's just too many similarities between these two pictures. So just going over all of these discrepancies between the cave painting we have here, the cave painting we have here, the leak we got, which says that Biollante will be in it, a Biollante that will base its body around plant-based matter, everything else. I don't think we are at our big bad in the Monsterverse yet. I think this next movie might be setting up something that could lead us to a potential movie like Infinity War, where we're just going to see a big fight come out. I think we're still leading up to a major conclusion in the Monsterverse, but I don't think we're at our big bad yet, who I believe is going to be whatever this monster is. I think this is going to be the big bad of the Monsterverse, that these two have to come together along with humanity and stop whatever this is. And we're going to find out what this is either next movie or the following movie, because I believe the next movie is going to lead up to this. And we're just going to get a lot of information on the origins of Godzilla and Kong. This story is probably going to be gone over, and then it's going to lead to them fighting this monster along with the other Titans on Earth. So that's all I got for you guys today. That might have been a lot of information, but again, I just wanted to get this all out there because of this leak. It's a pretty big leak if this comes out to be true. I wanted to give my opinion on it. I wanted to let you guys know what I think, what my theories are, present any new ideas. So let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think. Who is going to be the villain in the next movie, and who do you think the big bad of the Monsterverse is going to be? We'll see you guys later.